there are different pathways in becoming a British citizen. Depending on your kind of visa, the visa you came into the country with, that will determine your when you will be able to apply for your ILR. All right, so ILR means your indefinite leave to remain, and you know that's just a prerequisite to becoming a British citizen. When you apply for your ILR and it's been granted, then you can go ahead. If you're in a family visa, if you're on a spouse, if you came in as a partner to a British citizen, you don't have to wait a year before you can apply for your British passport. But on any other kind of visa, after your ILR, you have to wait for a year before you can then go ahead to apply for your British passport. Okay, and you know that when you have that British passport, there are so many advantages that comes with that. You can decide to travel around the world. There are some countries you are the visa free countries when you have your British passport. So having said all of that, today we'll be looking at indefinite leave to remain if you have family in the UK. When you are a partner to someone that is already settled in the UK, how you can go about to apply for your ILR. All right, so let us go into the business of today. If you are yet to subscribe to my channel or it's your first time on this channel, you are welcome. My name is Bola. Please remember to leave me click on the like button, leave me a comment, subscribe if you are yet to. All right, so let us go into the business of today. Let me make a disclaimer. I'm not an immigration expert. I'm just putting out content that is already out there. So I am on the government website. Go to www.gov.uk, put your indefinite leave to remain family route. Okay, so I am on the page now and I'll be sharing information that I've got here with you. So indefinite leave to remain if you have family in the UK. Let us look at the overview. The overview, you may be able to apply for your indefinite leave to remain if you have a family member settled in the UK, either as a British citizen or a person with indefinite leave to remain. All right, simply put, if you are a partner or you're married to a British citizen, or your partner or your spouse has got their indefinite leave to remain and you have lived here for 5 years, then you can go on this route. All right, so you can apply as a partner with your family visa, a partner as a dependent on your partner's work visa, a parent with your family visa, a child with your family visa. You can apply as a child as a dependent on your parents' work visa. You can apply as an adult dependent relative on a family visa. You can also apply as a dependent on your parents or partners innovator founder visa. Okay, we'll be clicking on this one after the other, then we'll be looking at what that is all about. So before I go on, let me quickly read what I've got here. Indefinite leave to remain is how you settle in the UK. It is also called settlement. It gives you the right to live, the right to work, the right to study here for as long as you like, and apply for benefits if you're eligible. You can use it to apply for your British citizenship. You will need to apply the same way as your partner or as your parent who is settled or is applying to settle. If you are not eligible through family in the UK, there are other ways to apply for your ILR. When to apply? You can apply once you are eligible. If you are applying as a parent or a partner with a family visa, the earliest you can apply is 28 days before you meet the requirements for time spent in the UK. So before your visa expires, you can apply 28 days before. Okay, your application may be refused if you apply earlier. If you put in your application earlier than 28 days, it may likely to be refused. Do not wait until your current visa expires. If your visa expires before you can apply for ILR, you will need to renew it first. Okay, simply put, if your visa expires before you put in your ILR, you will first of all have to renew your visa before you then put in for your ILR. So let us look at the fees and how long it takes. The fee, it costs £3,029. Wow, for each person applying. So for each person, if you're applying as a wife or as children, whichever, per person, the fee costs £3,029. You will each need to have your biometrics information, your fingerprints, and your photo taken. There is no fee for that. You will usually get a decision within 6 months if you apply using the standard service. You must not travel outside of the UK, Ireland, the Channel Island, or the Isle of Man until you get a decision. Your application will be withdrawn if you do. So, okay, get a faster decision on your application. Okay, so let us then click one after the other. Apply as a partner with your family visa. Okay, let us look at as a partner. Okay, how do you then apply as a partner? You may be able to apply for your ILR if you have a family visa as a partner or a spouse. Your partner is settled in the UK, either as a British citizen or a person with indefinite leave to remain. There are different ways to stay in the UK if you are dependent on your partner's work visa. You know, we've said all of that, okay? So check your route to indefinite leave to remain. Oh, okay, I skipped something. Let me quickly go back. Okay, you may be able to apply for your indefinite leave to remain if both, number one, you have a family visa as a partner or spouse. Then number two, your partner is settled in the UK as a British citizen or a person with indefinite leave to remain. Okay, that's self-explanatory, right? There are different ways to stay in the UK. If number one, you are dependent on your partner's work visa, your partner has settled status under the EU settlement scheme, your partner has died, your relationship ended because of domestic violence. Probably you came in on a spousal visa, and unfortunately, the partner that has got the British passport passed. Okay, so there is a route for you to apply on that. Okay, or the relationship ended as a result of domestic violence, DV, there is a route to apply as well. Okay, so moving on now. Check your route to indefinite leave to remain. The eligible criteria are different depending on if you are on a 5-year route, 2-year route, or on the 10-year route. If you are not sure which route you are on, check the letter you got from the Home Office when your leave to remain was last approved. Your relationship, your current visa must be based on your relationship with your partner. You must be either a husband, wife, or civil partner in a relationship that's like a marriage or civil partnership for at least 2 years. You must also have lived together since you last renewed your visa. Intend to continue your relationship after you apply. So if you're on the 10-year route, you must have had permission to be in the UK based on the relationship for at least 1 year. Time in the UK, if you are on the 5 or 2-year route, you must have been living in the UK on your family visa as a partner for at least 5 continuous years if you're on a 5-year route, 2 continuous years if you are on the 2-year route. You cannot include time you spent in the UK on any other visa as a fiancé or proposed civil partner. All right, so if you're applying on this 5-year route, what this is simply explaining is that you cannot, probably you came in on another visa before you now switch, you cannot count that visa as a number of time. Okay, so the time starts from when you got that partner visa, that your spouse visa. Okay, so time in the UK, if you're on the 10-year route, you must have been living in the UK for at least 10 continuous years. You can You can include time you spent on any other visa which led to indefinite leave to remain. So the difference is on this 10 years is that you can include time you spent on other visa. All right. You cannot include time you spent in the UK as a fiancé or proposed civil partner. You really need to understand that part. Other visa, let us look at what other visa means. Any other visa aside from fiancé visa. Okay, I think it's work visa now. Work visa. So let us go back. I'm just trying to rush it up. I don't want it to be too long. I'm going to still make another video on the cost implication, the documents needed for applying. Okay, so the financial requirement here, if you're on the 5-year route, you and your partner need to prove your combined income meets the requirements. How much this is depend on whether your partner is getting certain disability or carer's benefits. When you first successfully applied for your current family visa, you must prove your income as you did when you applied for your family visa. So if you can use joint income, your husband can then use solely his own income if he meets the criteria. I would like to stop here. Then all this one will come in a separate video because I'm saying the financial aspect here. I really want to make it a separate video. Okay, if you apply for a family visa before 11th April 2024, you and your partner must usually have a combined income of at least 18,600 a year. You must prove you have extra money for any other children who are applying for ILR or who are in the UK as dependents, who are in the UK as your partner's dependents. Okay, so if the children are not British, you have to apply for them, and then each you must have proof of extra money for these children. You do not need to prove you have extra money for any other children. For any children who are British or Irish citizen, who have pre-settled settlements or permanently settled in the UK. So if your partner, one of the maybe the husband is British, so you don't need automatically the children are British. Okay, so you don't need to prove for the kids. You only need a proof for yourself. That is what that is explaining there. But if if your partner is not British, then you have to prove additional income for these children. If you need to prove extra money for your children, you will need to earn an extra 3,800 a year for your first child, 2,400 a year for each child you have after your first child. So if the total amount you need to earn based on your children will be more than 29,000, you only need to prove you make 29,000 pounds. So that is that. I'll be making another on a separate video, documents required. All right, see you in my next one.